Hi, welcome back to Just an Everyday Fan. I haven't been on in a while because there hasn't been much happening in the WNBA. We've had a couple of players that have signed with Project B. Now, the WNBA has just knocked it out of the ballpark. They have actually sent over an offer to the players. What is it? This is what I can tell. And I don't have extreme specifics. I have some, but not all. So currently, a player in their first rookie year season comes in, depending on who they are and what draft round they're picked, they come in at roughly somewhere between 65 and 75,000, right? Depending on where they are in the draft round pick. So let's just say the men is probably 65,000. We have a medium range like a Sophie Cunningham. She's making around 98 to 100, right? And then we have a supermax like Kelsey Mitchell. And Kelsey Mitchell is pulling in supermax at 249 and some change. Let's just call it $250,000. Now the WNBA, according to the Associated Press and an unnamed source who was close to the negotiations, said that the players have been offered the following: a minimum of $220,000. That's almost $250,000. So those that are coming out the next year of college, and those like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston that are in their rookie contracts, will be stepped up to at least $250,000 for salary. Now, the average player, like say Sophie Cunningham, which she's roughly, and like Breanna Stewart, I think she's at like 108, something like that. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. This is off the top of my head. And Nafisa Collier, they're going to be at $500,000 a year. $500,000. So it was $460,000. And then the super max that they have offered is roughly $1.1 million for a super max. Now, I think it's going to take a while for these players to go to super max. I don't know if the super max contracts are I don't know if someone like Kelsey Mitchell, who's on a super max, I don't know if this deal is signed, if she is going to go from $250,000 to $1.1 million, or if it's going to be a stair step up because of the greater contract amounts. And another thing that I was unclear, they mentioned revenue share, but it wasn't separate from the contracts. So I don't know if they have bundled. Currently, revenue share is separate, right? That's separate that the girls get, and it's a percentage of anywhere, I think they were getting 9-10% revenue share, when the men are getting 50% revenue share. Now, what I don't know that they did is, I don't know if the revenue share is remaining separate over and above, or if they have bundled that into their salaries. Why did the WNBA do this? I think there's two reasons. Number one, the Caitlin Clark effect. Okay, I think in the last 2 years they have seen the profits soar with Caitlin Clark in the league. I think they've seen it all the way across the board. And then I think Project B is coming in and putting pressure, because currently the best league in the world is the WNBA. That's what every young girl strives to be. They don't strive to go overseas and play. They don't strive to play 3-on-3. in Unrivaled. They strive to be in the WNBA. It's the elite for the elite athletes. It's what Caitlin Clark grew up wanting to be. She didn't grow up wanting to be Project B. She didn't want Unrivaled. She wanted the WNBA. That is her dream. Just like every girl, young girl that is playing basketball, growing up and going to college, hoping that they will be drafted into the W. So I think the owners saw two things in the WNBA. Executives, I think they saw Project B and Caitlin Clark, and it became a perfect storm of a little bit of push to get them to these numbers. Now, I haven't seen the full contract. I don't know the language in the contract. I don't know what's separate, what's not. I don't know if there's going to be a clause in there. If you sign with the WNBA, you can't do anything, go to a relating league off season. I'm not sure. But if there is, this might be where there might be a conflict for Unrivaled, right? Nafisa Collier and Breanna Stewart have the Unrivaled League, and this could mean the end of their league because they wouldn't be able to play in their own league if there's a contract in there. Maybe it's just Project B. I'm not sure. Like I said, these are the only details that I got. So it was an increase from around $65,000 to $220,000 for the men. There's an average of about $98,000 to $460,000 for the average. And there's a supermax of $1.1 million to the $250,000 that they're currently paying today. So I think Nancy Lieberman said it all when she said that Caitlin Clark will one day make all of these women millionaires. The tide that rises, right? The Caitlin Clark effect. And I think we've seen that. We've seen that with Sophie Cunningham, certainly. Look at her. She's getting deals. She's getting notoriety. She's got a podcast. Things are going well for Sophie on the off season. They are going very well. She's getting all kinds of deals. There are other players that are getting deals. So the game just leveled up. The WNBA just hit this out of the ballpark. Now, are the players' egos going to get in the way? Because if I'm a player, if I'm a Nafisa Collier, Breanna Stewart, I'm sitting in those executive spots. I'm thinking about the lower level players that are coming in with nothing and having to survive. Because when you think about the top 10% of the players that we all know and love, you know, you have your Caitlin Clarks, your Angel Reeses, your Asia Wilsons, your Fee Colliers, Breanna Stewart, AT. I could go on and on and on, right? Top 10%. Paige Beckers, all those players, you think about them, you think this would be pretty bad if they're just negotiating for themselves. So these players have got to come down and protect the lower level and mid-level players because it's a players association. It's not the top 10. So if they die on this hill and they reject this could be the end of the WNBA. I mean, this could be horrible. And I think we would all hate to see that happen because we just want to watch good basketball. We want to watch good, clean, fair basketball. And we want to watch these women thrive and not get taken out with injury after injury after injury. So a couple of things have to happen. this has to actually come to fruition. So, and we're coming up on a holiday, and this is going to be a long holiday because it's going to be on a Monday. Everyone prepping for Thanksgiving on Thursday. Thursday, there's all the Black Friday and all the things. People are probably traveling for the weekend. And I'm sure the players are traveling if they're not at home already. And then we have roughly only 5 days left in the month. So this has to get locked down. And I think the players should take this. You think they're going to have an ego, or you think they're going to pony up and say, yes, this is a deal, we've got it, let's go. If the revenue share were listed within this, I would want a salary more so than a revenue share, I think. Because the salary is guaranteed. Revenue share isn't guaranteed. Ticket sales aren't guaranteed unless you play for Caitlin Clark's team, a team called the Indiana Fever. T-shirt sales aren't guaranteed. Merch sales aren't guaranteed. So, but salary is guaranteed. They would be crazy not to take this deal. And if they choose to not take the deal, I might lose a bit of respect for the PA. Because this takes care of the lower level players in a big way. And it also benefits the higher level players like Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, AT. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, thank you for watching. Please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.